Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how they are afraid of you. They are afraid of you. It's such a weird process, like just being in this kind of space, just understanding your vibration frequency and knowing the team that you ride for, the righteous, you know. A lot of the people around you are afraid of you, and the crazy thing is, it's like when you growing up, you have a handful of weird, awkward relationships, you know, and they always seem like they didn't really go south. It just seemed like they just stopped, you know. And a lot of that you could also take account to that you don't get called out or invited to many events around, you know, that your peers and stuff is doing. And a lot of that has to do with just, you know, a lot of people are afraid of your vibration, your frequency. They are afraid of your intentions. They know that your intentions are way more righteous than they could ever perceive. And we all know that there's a difference between moving righteously and moving demonically. We all know the difference between good and bad. We know that there's a dark and light. So whether you follow one or the other, it's all the same concept and understanding, just, you know, different verbiage that's being used. I had my daughter kind of experiencing this a little bit because she a light being too, and she at a school that's predominantly white based on, you know, where her mom is living at right now with her parents. Don't even know how to take care of damn self. Shit crazy. I ain't going into that right now though. But to say, I meant to say, like, I have to explain to my 8-year-old daughter, you know, that some of the people at her school will be afraid of her. Yes, they got mixed kids out there, but some of the people will be afraid of her. And she had came to me a couple times just telling me, hey, Dad, yeah, I went to go try to play with such and such friend, you know, that I used to play with or something, you know, and they all just kind of ran away from me, or they started like being weird or witchy towards her and shit like that. And to me as a father, when I hear that, I'm like, I go slap the shit out of all them kids. That's how I be feeling. Like, don't be doing that with mine. Don't do that with mine. I didn't go do that, you know what I mean? But that's how I be processing things in the inside. So, and I also understand when I give it that energy, it's being sent to them in the spiritual realm. Because I was my daughter without having a me around, you know? So I understand the concept of people just being afraid of you for no reason. Like, for me, I always felt like it was, oh, they're afraid because, you know, I'm darker than the average person that's around me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always been, for the most part, I always been the darker friend. Even out of all my brown friends, I still was the darker one. It was occasionally a group here or there where it was one or two other people that was darker than me. But that was always my thing, you know? So not being taught any different and then moving around to certain spaces, I just assumed that, oh, they probably just don't like me because I'm dark. But to me, I just brush it off as, oh, that ain't shit. You don't like me because of my skin complexion. This ain't changing. And I love me, so you gonna have to deal with it. Not I. But then I realized, right, because I hear from a lot of people growing up, they was like, oh, you have such a beautiful smile. Getting even older to teenagers, oh, you have such great energy. You know, you're always in such a good space. Even if I wasn't in a good space, I guess they just could read the energy. Like, you can be upset and still not be a bad or horrible person. You can be mad and angry and still be a great light-spirited being, you know? And once I was able to get over that hump that it wasn't my complexion, that they just didn't like my energy. Your energy is too powerful for them. It's too powerful. And if you ever reflect on your life in the situations you've been in, you'll realize how hard it was for you to like fit in around certain groups, peers. Hard for you to have like long conversations with certain family members, you know. It was either they always was taking what you were saying sideways, or even before you even understood, you were just way too deep for them. a lot of them understand like the depths that we willing to go to be more righteous. They see the way that we respond to them. They see the way we react to this universal realm. They understand because they're looking and processing themselves, who they are, what they're doing, and what they're going through. The same way we do. You know, you run into somebody and they put an obstacle in front of you. You knock that obstacle out the way and then they disappear. In their world, they like, well, damn, I remember when I had went through that obstacle, I did a much worse job. And they just took that like they was walking on water. Yes, exactly. That's how it works and flows for us. That's not how it work and flow for them. We are them people that walk around and we be like, you know what? I want to share some of this love and like touch them, bong. Then it turns gold. You know what I mean? Like that's literally how our energy and vibration work. You can think of numerous situations where you spoke so much life into somebody, literally gave them spiritual CPR, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation in the spiritual realm. You seen this being laying down half dead and you brought them back to life. Bonk. And then you know what happens? Vominos. They are afraid of that power because they know the things that they have to do in order to maintain or to access that kind of power. You have to move more righteously. You have to believe in the creator or whatever word name you want to put on it. You know, it's a lot of things that go into the recipe that we was just naturally doing, from babies to little children to teenagers to full-grown adults. We was just naturally doing it. And it's hard to fathom when you young and you going through it and just thinking like, oh, I'm just being me. Why is that bothering them? Why is that hurting them? Why is that making them afraid of me? It's like, what really brought it to the point, a boiling point for me is like, now I'm in a space to where I'm super aware. I know what the fuck is going on. I'm out trying to reach and help, heal, teach, share as much knowledge and information as I possibly can with the universe. A lot of people are saying, yeah, man, I need friends, male friends. I got guys that I need some guy friends that, you know, that think more righteously, that move more right, that want to build and grow and do things. And then you bump into me and you realize, oh shit, you too weak. I deal with females that say, oh yeah, I want a righteous man that follows the God and creator, you know, that he has a job, he take care of his family, if he has one. They just start naming all of this shit. Then you run into a being like me that's doing it. And you know what the hell they do? They run. They run. He's a runner, she's a track star. She's a runner, she's a track star. They run. They get the fuck away. It's too scary for them. You know, it's like people who say, oh, I want to really ride this roller coaster. They done waited 2 hours in line. As soon as they get there, they looking up like, you know what? I'm going to pass on this one right now. I know I just waited 2.5 hours, but my time ain't valuable. It ain't shit. I can just go ahead and go do something else, you know. I'll just make this useless time of waiting in the line pointless. You know, that ain't how we vibe. If we sit and wait for a roller coaster ride for 2.5 hours, 4 hours, I guarantee you, whatever we're feeling fear-wise, based, like, we're going to overcome it. We're not going to sit there and wait in that line, that long-ass time just to walk out because a little bit of fear got to us. That's not how we operate. You get a little bit of fear sprinkled in on everything, so it's kind of, you might as well look at fear like seasoning. You might as well look at fear like seasoning. And that's basically, you know how people in the movies make those salt circles around them and they be like, yeah, it's a spiritual blockage, it keeps them out. Nigga, you got that salt from the grocery store and it got all kind of chemicals and GMO shit, and you trying to tell me that, oh yeah, no, you got to get natural salt first to do that. But it's kind of like we have spiritual salt rings around us. And like soon as somebody touch it or try to cross it, like, oh, they get all shooken up. Once you're aware and you start actually seeing it happen in your face, it's fucking mind-blowing. I done had principals at school shaking in his voice and I'm just talking to him regular because he afraid. And it's like, at first I thought it was the color, but I'm too knowledgeable. I'm like, nah, it's because I am knowledgeable, and because I am still fighting, it's because I do have legitimate things that I bring to the table. You know, it's not just, oh, I see him. It's like you see a homeless person and then they open their mouth up with all this knowledge and information that's mind-blowing. That's how a lot of these beings feel when they run into our energy. They are afraid. They think that we could see straight through them, which most of us can see straight through them, you know what I mean? So we be already knowing what time it is. Now, whether we choose to still engage or not is on us. But the people that know that you can see straight through them, most of them don't like to make a lot of eye contact. And if they do, check out their eyes. You can see how much fear is sitting at the forefront of their eyes. You can see it. And they'll never be able to hold a gaze very long with you. They're gonna look away. Oh, yeah, remember that time we went to and then we did blah, 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 blah. It's always gonna be a look away. Because they are constantly trying to read you for ill intentions so they can manipulate you or manipulate the information you're sharing. And you just, being you, just know how to fit in other people's shoes and empathize and sympathize. That's scary for them because they like, to them, they was in a brick house until you showed up. As soon as you showed up, that brick turned into a glass house. So you know what they say with glass houses, don't throw stones at a glass house. And if you got a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth. Ah, man. They afraid. They afraid. They are scared and afraid. And they always gonna communicate with you in a victim mind state. Because I've seen some people who play the victim all the time, but when they communicate with other people, they not playing the victim. They just having regular engagements, conversations. As soon as they start communicating with me, it's like a meltdown. It's like, let me see if I could spill all this waste and toxic over there into him because I feel his vibration. You know, I don't like that shit. They scared. They naturally scared because they on the wrong team. And then they're afraid of us because they see how solid we are in the team we ride with. It ain't even really about us. It's about the team we ride with that they're afraid of. They looking at us and they like, oh shit, they not using the demonic playbook. They using that righteous playbook. And that's what puts even more fear into them. Man, it's not your complexion. It's not your hair. It's not your tattoos. It's not your piercings. People that don't have any of those things still will see that. They still will receive that same energy. I done been in relationships with females and they told me about multiple toxic people and men that they dealt with, and then they still put me in that toxic boat, meaning that I still get the same treatment that the toxic and abusive men got, even though I don't walk in that light. You're not gonna put me in that box. If you put me in that box, I'll be like a rat. I'm gonna crawl my way out the bottom. Next time you go in that box, I won't be in there. Be like next Friday, and when I got my check, I was gone. You get the hell up out of there. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna cook me off later. No, sir. We got a mission to accomplish. You know, we got steps to put in front of us for this next generation. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I mean? What I will start doing, though, for now on, if anybody wants a part 2 or you want a longer in-depth breakdown of whatever topic that we discussing, just drop it down in the comments. And I'll make sure that I'm going to do my due diligence to start getting back to some of these other topics and then going back into them in a longer format. Because I really be wanting to keep going, but I be trying to keep everything compiled and compressed. Because I know the attention spans for some, but I know the ones over here, y'all be wanting a nigga to go all day. I be having work and other ish to do. So when I can set my life up to where I could do this full time and just give y'all all that time and energy, it's going to be that way. But any questions or comments, or if y'all want me to dive in deeper, just leave them in the comments, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna run it up too long. The description is what I mean by tapping to everything down below. The description. I'm not on Facebook no more. They disabled me. They disabled my business page and my personal page. So I'm not on FB, but I do be on my IG. And I do be in this YouTube realm, you know what I mean? But tap into the description down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.